I'm Misha Hadaway, CEO and owner of Gentle Mama Counseling, and you're tuned into Ladies Power Lunch.
Hi, I'm Nadine Keller, CEO of Precision Sales Coaching and Training, and you are tuned into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Debbie Sodergren, the CEO of Up Vibrations, and you are plugged into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Christy Sullivan, human design expert, author, and speaker, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Keisha Zullo, president of Events of Joy, and you're tuned into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Mary Colangelo. I'm an international fashion therapist, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm LaQuisha Clemens, the CEO of Freedom Life Therapy and Wellness. You are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Kiana Coachman Strickland, also known as DJ Q Boogie. I'm the founder of Female DJ Association, and you are tuned into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grow Your Business Smarter, Live Your Optimal Life show. Hi, I'm your host, Dr. Davia Shepherd. And in addition to hosting this outstanding show, I also host a women's group called Ladies Power Lunch. Now, let's start with this show. This show is for women in business who really believe in this idea that when we all support each other, that everybody wins. It's all about the women in our Ladies Power Lunch group sharing their gifts and their talents with each other. And so that as one person rises, everybody rises, because we all have the tools that we need to grow our businesses. Not by working harder or pushing or pulling or stressing and straining, but by pooling our resources and all benefiting from that. And of course, we invite you to come be a member of our community. If you're the kind of woman in business who believes that when we all support each other, everybody wins, then come join us. You're welcome. Just go to growsmarter.com/log-in. When you go there, you'll be able to connect with certainly the opportunity to join our thriving community, our very engaged community, but you also have the opportunity to have access to back episodes of our activities that we've been doing. You'll have access to participate in many of our upcoming events. You'll have access to be a part of this wonderful community of women that's waiting to share their gifts and talents with you. All right, on with the show. This year, we are focused, really highly laser focused on cutting away all the extraneous bits and getting really laser focused on what exactly is it that women in business need to grow now in the business environment that we all find ourselves in. Because one thing that we have become very clear about is that things that may have worked for us in the past might not be working as well for us now. And so we're trying to get to the bottom of it, like little detectives. What exactly is it that we need to be doing now so that our businesses can grow and thrive in the environment that we are currently in? Last time we had the opportunity to get together a group of just outstanding women who shared about how we can sometimes be getting in our own way when it comes to growing our business. And I have with me today the host of that particular episode to actually go just a little bit deeper and share how we can get out of our own way as we grow our businesses. So welcome, Gail. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here connecting with everyone.
So Gail's background is very storied, very august member of our Ladies Power Lunch community. She used to be a teacher, therapist, life coach. She has so much experience working with folks to help them move their lives and their businesses forward from the inside out. And so, Gail, can you share with everybody here a little bit about who you are and the amazing things that you're here doing in the world?
Well, I'm a woman of 76 years young. And I say that because a lot of women have an issue about their age and what they can be doing and what they can't be doing. And as a retreat leader from 40 years ago, I have designed 6 different seminars, actually more than that, for men and women and children, and have taken women and men and children into a place called growth, awareness, transformation so that they could have a better positive outlook on their life and create the life that they truly want with their relationship with themselves and with others. So basically, I work with people so that they can design their lives and actually walk into that design and put it on like a new suit of clothes so that they can limit some of their limiting beliefs and create what they really want in their life instead of letting the years just go by. So no matter what your age is, what you have had happen in your childhood, there's always an avenue and a door to open so that you can have more sunlight and create what you really want. And that's really who I am and what I do in life. And I'm not going to stop.
I love that, Gail. And I love that you have so many years of experience, so much experience working with different types of groups. And so I think that what you bring to the table is a little bit different from what a lot of other people bring in because you have so much to draw upon. So I want to dive right into it. Folks might be getting in their own way in their life and business. How is that even possible, Gail? How can we be getting in our own way? I mean, we're all here every day, getting up, trying to do the very best that we can in our businesses. We're trying to grow. How are we getting in our own way? How is that possible?
It's not just possible. It is part of being a human being. Is we create these patterns in our lives that sometimes support us, and some of those old patterns don't support us and our behaviors, and it limits our vision of where we actually can take ourselves and where we can go. And some of what holds us back is fear, basic and profound fear. Fear of stepping out into the limelight, if you will, fear of what other people will think of you when you do that, and also fear of failure. You know, is if I do this and I create this momentum and nobody shows up or it doesn't happen, who am I? And then what happens is that sense of doubting yourself and thinking that you may not be the imposter syndrome or deserve the success that you really have. And so what we do is we limit ourselves, Davia. We put up walls and we narrow our vision of where we can go by putting up those walls. And we tell ourselves based on past experiences that weren't good, that this is not going to happen. So it's what we say to ourselves, it's our belief system, it's some of the patterns that we have intrinsically established within ourselves based on what we perceive as what other people think of us and what we think of ourselves. So it's breaking free of that imposter syndrome and also knowing that you have to be clear about what it is you want to create. You know, do you really know what you want to create? And then taking that step into the unknown, but also surrounding yourself with support. Because if you do it alone and you don't have the support, then what happens is you are working so hard like a mouse, you know, running, and you are burning yourself out on all levels. Does that make sense?
Sure, Gail, that makes sense. However, I know that folks are watching along and they're thinking, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I don't see how that would necessarily apply to me personally. So I always believe that stories are really great for teaching. Do you have a story, Gail, that you can share with us with, of course, redacting the names of the innocent to protect them? But can you share a story of somebody that you've worked with who may have been in this similar position where they'd actually set up these patterns and they were getting in their own way, perhaps getting in the way of growing their own business, and how you were able to help them to turn this ship around?
I'm going to use the story of myself, if that's okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm going to start by saying that when you project and you have a vision and you want to do something, and you really have a passion about it, but you might also be very frightened of doing that. That's when I, as a young woman, would keep going and then stop myself, keep going and then stop myself. So we stop ourselves because, you know, we're not really sure that we're going to be able to produce the results because it scares us, even though it excites us. And stepping out is a very important thing. So here I was, a very successful life coach, therapist and a master in neurolinguistic programming. I had people coming to me from all over, and I was filled with clients to the point that I was racing to be home for my children, my husband, take care of my mom, my dad, everybody. And I had so much things going on, so many things, so many thoughts going on in my head that it stopped me from having clarity and my next steps. So when we're doing so much, and I'm going to come back to me, when I was doing so much, then, and you didn't dump out some of that stuff that was constantly going on in your head by, even as Mel Robbins says, write it down on a piece of paper, just get it out of your head. Otherwise, you don't have the space and the clarity to think about what your next steps are. So I was approached by a very big seminar company, and was asked if I would create a group here in Connecticut and become the director of this huge seminar company. And that was international. I said yes. Now, my daughter, this is the story. Lots of things going on. My daughter was about to be bas mitzvahed. That's a big deal, especially when your in-laws came from being in the concentration camps. And it was a very important thing. So that my focus was there. Now I said yes to this. And I had 3 months to get a group together that had never been together except for my clients, in a setting where they were going to be doing transformation. 3 months time, I had the bas mitzvah happening. The GHO opening was happening. All this stuff that sometimes can pop up and look like it's going to detour you to your end result of what you really want to achieve. And I just absolutely wrote down some of the stuff that was in my head, got it out of my head, cleared my head for the day. And we were able, even though I was scared that it wasn't going to happen with everything else I was juggling, I was able to clear my head enough to focus on the bas mitzvah and put that in its own place, and be able to find 3 different places for a 3-day retreat in Connecticut. And it was successful, even though I was scared and I was excited. I pushed past that. Now, that's a story that tells me that I have the capability to create and co-create whatever I choose to, if I have a passion about it, if I'm aligned with it, if I'm authentically aligned with it. So what I really want to say is, if you are authentically aligned with something that excites you, even though it scares you, don't let that stop you. What will stop you is old limiting patterns and thoughts and too much stuff going on up here, because we're all very, very busy. And when we're so busy, we cannot clearly focus on defining what is the next action step we need to take. And so when you can transform what your mindset is and do a garbage dump of some of those things that are happening all the time, like some of this stuff that's going on may be happening in a month from now. Do we need to have that still in our brain, taking up space? As soon as we're able to declutter, we're able to find that step, and you can go past being frightened. Go past being frightened. If it excites you, allow yourself to be excited. And even if you're afraid for whatever reason, make sure you celebrate small successes. And that's what I did. Every week, if there was someone that said, yes, I think I want to really experience this, sounds wonderful. It's like a gift that you're giving to us, that if we unwrap, something wonderful is going to happen. And one by one by one, we grew until we had 130 people in the room within 3 months, and a bas mitzvah that happened successfully. So that's a framework, a foundation that I have that I can draw from whenever I choose to do what I want to do, and without overdoing, without killing yourself, without burdening yourself so that you are burnt out and it affects your relationship with yourself and with other people. I mean, that's a whole different way of living. Now, I don't know if I answered that, what you really wanted from me, but if I didn't, ask me a question, please.
Okay, so how can we have so many things going on? Like you said, we're all pretty busy. Let's use that word.
Yeah.
Busy. How can we know if the reason that we're not progressing in the way that we would like, or as quickly as we would like, how can we know if getting in our own way is a factor that we need to be considering?
If you find yourself spinning your own wheels, not getting any advanced progress in where you want to go. You might become aware of some of your own limiting patterns of using comfort versus as success, and keep holding yourself back. If you find yourself holding yourself back for fear of either losing a relationship or making a relationship uncomfortable or what others will think of you, don't allow that to happen. Just become aware of your surroundings. If in fact you're doubting yourself, that's normal. Give yourself some self-compassion and give yourself some space to be able to do some garbage dumping from the clutter in your mind, because all of your thoughts, everything that you're thinking about regarding what you're doing or your life is swimming around in your head. And once we can declutter some of that, put it on a piece of paper, not like a to-do list, but just stuff that is there that we can reach out and say, okay, that's in a month from now. That's not now. And cross that off. We create some space. We open up some space. You know, when you're there, creating limitations for yourself is when you become tired, sluggish. You might become impatient. You might bite someone's head off when you don't mean to. And you find that you're not taking time out to take care of yourself. Any time out. All you're doing is you're exhausted. You go to bed and you wake up exhausted. And so how can you even think about the point of reference of becoming successful and where you want to go when all of this other stuff is weighing you down?
That makes perfect sense, Gail. So for those people who've self-identified based on what you've just explained, who've really looked inside and thought to themselves, hey, you know what, that feels like that applies to me. I feel like I might be weighing myself down. I feel like I might be caught in a cycle of busy work. I feel like I might be shying away from moving forward because of fear. I might be actually holding myself back. I might be a part of what is preventing me from going forward. If somebody's identifying themselves as being part of that category, what advice do you have for them? What do's and don'ts do you recommend for them? What are some of the things they really need to hone in on? What are some of the things they need to avoid doing?
The first thing is to name and claim what your fear is, what some of your resistance is. Write it down. What is it? And then bring a different light to that. Instead of focusing on the worst, focus on the reframe of a mindset. You can take small steps that will build the confidence that you actually need. And the other piece that's very important is seek out a life coach or a mentor or a colleague that you can sit down with and talk to, and bring a notebook so that you can write down some of your thoughts, because your thoughts are worthy and who you are is special and enough. And you have to remind yourself of that and take some time out instead of being so busy. And people will say to me, well, how do you do that when you have a 9-to-5 job that sometimes goes extra, and then you have children and mommies are crazy in the morning getting everything done? Well, you have to create that time for yourself, even if it is a half hour of just meditating, of just putting yourself someplace in nature that makes you feel good. And if you can't get out in nature, visualize it while you're closing your eyes and just allow yourself the breath to go through your body and allow yourself to get back into balance. Very important. And seek counsel, seek support.
What are some of the things that we should be avoiding? Some of the things that we really need to stop doing right away?
Get off the treadmill, not literally, but the treadmill of the path of life, so that you're running so fast. Look at your schedule, and we've talked about this before, and put in some space for me time, whatever that means to you. I don't know what that means. And at the end of the day, acknowledge what you have done instead of looking at what you didn't do. So focus more on the things that you actually did that's wonderful. And give yourself some credit for that. Even if it's, I held my tongue and I did not react when so-and-so pushed my buttons. Give yourself some credit for that, because the more that you can become your own best friend and talk to yourself, write to yourself, journal writing is great, but also remember that you're important. Everyone else is important, and you make everyone else feel important. Make sure you make yourself feel important. Don't wait for someone else to tell you who you are. Value yourself. Tell yourself who you are, which is why I love looking at limiting beliefs and changing them to the positive, because that's very important. And catch yourself if you have a limiting pattern right now that shows up every day, and you want to kick yourself at the end of the day and say, why didn't I do that?
Very, very good food for thought, Gail. Definitely something that we should all be trying to stay focused on. So I like for our show to be an opportunity for people to get some practical advice that they can then go ahead and apply in their lives and their businesses. I tell folks all the time, if I wasn't a physician, I would have been an engineer, because I'm really, really a solution-oriented personality. So my ask of you today, Gail, give us a little bit of homework. Give us one thing that we can apply today, this coming week, into our lives, into our businesses, so that we can at least get started getting out of our own way, so that we can grow in this new year.
Let go of something, a habit or a preconceived expectation that you have of yourself that no longer serves you. And in order to do that, you really just need to value who you are. And one of the things that you can do is you can absolutely do something that excites you, but also may frighten you. Do something that will empower you and replace it with some of the limiting words you may say to yourself, or some of the patterns that you may have. Do something that's going to be good for your health. Because if you do something that's going to be good for your health, you also open up space in your brain so that your brain can actually be clearer about what it is you really want for yourself. And I would write down, when no one's looking, what do you love to do? When no one is looking, no one's judging, what is it that you really love to do? And what do you love about yourself? Write that down. Because most of the time we write down all the things that we need to change, all the limiting beliefs that we have, but we don't write down all the beauty and the positive things of who we are. So I would suggest doing that.
I think that's a beautiful place to start, Gail, to make a list of all the things about ourselves that we love, all the things about ourselves that we value, all the things about ourselves that we find beautiful. I think if there's any amazing homework that we could take away from today, that would be absolutely brilliant.
It will help you I just wanted to add, it will help you in overcoming some of those barriers that we put up for ourselves to achieving the life that we want.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Gail. That's really outstanding. A wonderful stepping off point for us to get started with doing some of the work on the inside so that we can see the results showing up on the outside. Folks are watching along and they're thinking to themselves, Gail's super smart. She's a really, really smart cookie. I'd really love to reach out to her, connect with her, learn more about the things that she's talking about today. How can folks get in touch with you?
You can go to my website, and on there is my email. And the email is, the website is www.gailpetrowsky.com. And my email is gailpetrowsky.com. Gail at gailpetrowsky.com, Gail, Petrowsky. And I would love to hear from people, and I would love to support you in whatever next steps you have coming up.
Fantastic. I love that. Gail, at the end of every show, we like to pull a card, just something to give us a little bit of a thought for the day or a thought for the week, something that we can perhaps use to ping some ideas that might be floating around in our mind and focus them. Today, I felt as though this particular deck is calling out to me. It's been kind of on my mind for the last few days. It's a Sacred Rebels Guidebook by Alana Fairchild. And it's interesting because often when I pull a card, it seems like it has some meaning or bearing on the conversation that we've been having. Most of the times it does. Let's see what happens today. So I pulled this card. It says, faith in the process. And it's card number 32 for those of you who might, by some strange coincidence, have this deck also. For those of you who are members of the Ladies Power Lunch community, I always post the card that we pull inside our Facebook group. So you can go in and take a look at it. I'll also post the details. And if there's something that's really standing out for you, I invite you, drop your comments in the chat and let us know how this is hitting you. So it says, no matter how powerful we are, how much courage and strength we have, there are times when we can't quite move ourselves along to the next phase of life or creative exploration. At such times, we need some divine intervention, a little help in pulling our trolley along, so to speak. When we are at the edge of our own limits and have no more personal resources, we might be left with only one spiritual power, that is faith. Fortunately, that is enough. And I will post the entirety of the reading in our group, but it says, through faith, peace is restored. You are able to know this and perhaps have some fun in the process. Gail, what's this saying to you in light of the conversation that we've just been having?
That on your path, your journey, you also have to have faith in yourself or a higher power, but you have to have faith in yourself.
Yes.
So getting back to that belief in yourself, no matter what your past experiences have been or what your life transitions have been, really owning who you are so that you can be authentically true to yourself.
I love that. Gail, it's been my pleasure to host you today. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. I want to invite everyone again, if you're not as yet a part of our community, just go on over to growsmarter.com/login and connect with us there. And we're really, really looking forward to being your friend as well. If you are catching us on the replay, you might be catching us on YouTube, on Roku TV, Fire TV, Apple TV, you might be catching us on our podcast. However you are connecting with us, may I ask a favor of you? Would you be kind enough to leave us a rate and review? Leave us a comment. Show us in some way that you are getting some value out of this. This might take you like a second to do, but for us, it is so meaningful to know that you're watching along, that you're participating, that you care, that this is meaningful for you. Thank you, Gail, so much for being here. Thanks, everybody, for watching along, and I'll see you all on the next show. Bye, everyone.
Hi, I'm Misha Hadaway, CEO and owner of Gentle Mama Counseling, and you're tuned into Ladies Power Lunch.
Hi, I'm Nadine Keller, CEO of Precision Sales Coaching and Training, and you are tuned into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Debbie Sodergren, the CEO of Up Vibrations, and you are plugged into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Christy Sullivan, human design expert, author, and speaker, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Keisha Zulo, president of Events of Joy, and you're tuned into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Mary Colangelo. I'm an international fashion therapist, and you are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Lakeisha Clemens, the CEO of Freedom Life Therapy and Wellness. You are tuned in to the Ladies Power Lunch Show.
Hi, I'm Kiana Coachman Strickland, also known as DJ Q Boogie. I'm the founder of Female DJ Association, and you are tuned into the Ladies Power Lunch Show.